This week we're reading The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood, otherwise known as Jordan's Love of White Castle.
Hi readers, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Katie.
And welcome to Not Another Heroine Season 2, the podcast where we break down the best and worst fictional heroines of any genre. Because that's what we do now.
Want to see what's next on our TBR list? Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Instagram for a sneak peek at upcoming content or to help us pick our next book.
We are talking about
The Love of My Afterlife by Kirsty Greenwood.
which is a little outside of our normal.
What is this?
Okay, I
Romance?
can't listen. Shot first.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Cheers, readers.
It
This-
was a book.
It was. I feel like we're underselling it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything more fitting than the Good Morning America recommended book club tag that is on this book.
Is that what that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
When
when I think of what a morning talk show type of book is going to recommend,
Yeah.
this is the book, 100%. It's easy reading. It's everyone can relate to it. It's palatable. It's short.
I was talking to my partner about it, and I am betting that within a year or two, this will be a Netflix
Made for
rom-com.
TV movie. Yes.
100%. Because the whole time you're reading it, your brain is not turned on, but it's like, I'm watching this cheesy recommended Netflix rom-com movie that is an hour and 32 minutes and has some like C-list celebrities in it. And it's not bad, but it's like, I watched the whole thing and it's like, yeah, that's a rom-com. And then you move on with your life.
But we finished it.
Yeah.
Not unwillingly so.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have to really force myself to finish reading it. It's like enjoyable as long as I told you this comparison a couple days ago. It's like going to the bakery with your friend. Your friend wants a sugar cookie. You want a brownie, but you're a good friend and you say, okay, we'll split the sugar cookie. And it's sweet and somewhat satisfying, but not really that satisfying because everyone knows brownies are better.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. This is a sugar cookie of a book. There's not much to it. Little butter, little sugar, little flour, and that's it. Congratulations, there's your dessert.
Yeah. You're going to walk into your house and immediately go to the pantry and stare at the shelves and like hope there's something sweet that like manifests somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not satisfied, but I ate something.
I will say, I'm a little disappointed. And I hate to critique a book that we both enjoyed and finished.
Yeah.
And like, I would recommend this book to my mother. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, it's a mom book.
It's not controversial at all.
No. But I feel like it's trying to be something that it's not. It's got enough little like live with a purpose and embrace humanity and like it's not as bad as you think it is.
Yeah.
And there's quotable lines in it, but they're not quotable.
No.
It's like a setup to be trite. Like, oh, I have this great turn of phrase and I'm going to deliver this life-altering message for you. Here you go, readers. It's like spoon feeding a 4-year-old.
Yeah. I 100% skipped past all of the moments of deliverable messages with higher meaning. Like, I think she talks to her boss or something in one of them, and I'm like, I'm not really interested in that. Anyways, fun rom-com moments.
It's the shell of what could be a really great story, but it wanted to be deliverable and mass marketed. So like, I can't make it too long. I can't make it too complicated. And God help us if we kill off one of the characters.
Honestly, this could not be anything more than a rom-com to me in its current form.
Nope.
Like,
Totally agree.
Yeah, this is a rom-com book. I think this is a beach read. I've never read a beach read before, but this is what I imagine they're like.
Yeah. Very casual reading. Like, you don't care too much about the characters.
Yeah. And for our readers, this is a book I would say that you could read smashed. And so we're going to talk about it.
Quite smashed.
Yeah. These are the smashed episodes. Yeah.
Are we going to get into it?
Talk about it?
So we're going to do a shot at what cue?
Ooh. I think the time will be right.
We'll figure
wait for
it out.
Divine intervention.
Yeah, that sounds, well, that's fitting.
It is. Yeah.
Look at you.
Oh, well, the book starts called The Love of My Afterlife. So with that in mind, you immediately are introduced to Delphi, who is a kind of social recluse. I kind of assumed she was a little bit on the spectrum. I can relate, like not a bad thing, but doesn't really like to leave the house. Agoraphobic?
Yeah, but not true,
Or
like, not truly agoraphobic,
yeah.
just, like, doesn't want to. Not afraid of people, not afraid of leaving, just doesn't want to interact with people.
Yeah. We meet her, and then she chokes on a microwave hamburger and dies.
I will say, I love those microwave frozen hamburgers, like a White Castle little mini cheeseburger. Have you ever had them?
I have, but I have to say that is wildly surprising. Not in a bad way, but more in a like, interesting. That's a little tidbit about Jordan that we'll just like hold on to, like a fun fact. You know, two truths and a lie.
I do serve it on fine china with a doily.
That's unsurprising. Actually, now it all fits together. That checks out. I do not like microwave hamburgers, but I do like microwave waffles. Are you what?
No.
What? With a little bit of like peanut butter and oh my god, girl, that is like my go-to pregnancy snack. Anyways, microwave waffles.
She dies. Chokes to death. Like she's
dead.
The first 3 pages, she's dying and then dead. And
Yeah.
she wakes up in a laundromat.
Yeah. And it's evidently a sort of heaven called Evermore.
But not. More like a gentle
Trains?
Purgatory.
Train station? Yeah, like Harry Potter when he like kind of like half dies and he's in King's Cross Station, but he's like, you could continue on. And he's like, well, I want to go back.
Did you ever watch The Good Place?
I did not.
Okay, this almost seems like a ripoff of The Good Place.
Everything about this book feels like it's taken from
ripoff?
other things,
Yeah.
so that checks out. Yeah, so she's in a laundromat and she's like, where the fuck am I? And we are introduced to Merritt, who, if you guys have seen the Netflix rom-com Upgraded, it's the girl who's in Dairy Girls. Her name is like Sorcy something. Curly blonde hair, big glasses, funky, loves romance novels.
Like obsessed with romance novels. She's got pink on. She's got, oh my God, words are already hard and we're not even through part 1. She takes Delphi into her like office and she introduces her.
This is going great.
She introduces herself as an afterlife therapist. And the walls are covered with romance novels and Merritt is just like a chatterbox.
Yeah, she's just talking nonstop. And I don't know if I had just died, if that's the approach that I would want from an afterlife therapist.
Absolutely not.
Like maybe kind of like slowly, you know, get me.
By the way, you might have died. That's not what happens.
No, she's like, anyways, you're dead. So, hey, I'm Merritt and I'm spunky and we're going to talk about things and romance books. They're great, right? And Delphi's like, I was just in my house choking on a burger. And then like, this is like a big joke, right? Like I'm like hallucinating.
It's not a joke.
No.
And Merritt proceeds to like wheel in a TV. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
school.
Like, yo.
Okay. Everyone loved that moment.
Yeah. You'd watch whatever weird documentary, but you're just like zoned out. Yep.
So she puts on a TV show and it is Merritt's life played from start to end.
I will say, on one hand, I feel like the background music of this should be In the Arms of an Angel. That's what I was imagining, like kicked dogs and stuff. Because this rerun of her life is really fucking sad.
Her dad leaves. Yep. Like she has a great happy childhood and then her dad like abandons them and disappears off the face of the planet. Her mother turns into a depressed alcoholic and
in the arms of you continue talking.
Okay, there we go. And Delphi is neglected. You know what? Shot for that moment.
That's fair.
Yeah, that was deserved. I will continue. So you're gonna want to go halfway with that, and then or 2/3 of the way. And so Delphi is like, "Oh, this isn't so bad." Like I remember. All right.
I was trying to twist off the top of a bottle that had no cap. So.
Oh, no. Delphi's mom is a depressed alcoholic who's also a really good artist. And Delphi has a close friend named Jen who she spends all her time with. They go to each other's houses. They play together. And it's great until it's not, because once her mom turns into a depressed alcoholic, she stops inviting Jen over. And when she stops inviting her close best friend Jen over, they both enter high school and Jen starts bullying Delphi. And not only bullying her, but she teams up with like her boyfriend and it's truly awful. It's like the same. It's so realistic.
Yeah, because I will say this was kind of, I was not emotionally and mentally prepared to have these kind of weird flashbacks of bullying. Like, I wasn't really ever like bullied, but I think everyone that's read books, you know, and they're like middle school, high school age can kind of relate to this. So Delphi is, her mom was an artist, so she like likes to draw, and she has a crush on one of her teachers who's young and handsome. She draws a picture of him. Jen and her boyfriend take said picture, photocopy it, and distribute it around the school.
I had a visceral reaction to that moment.
100%.
When I was very much into creative writing when I was in junior high and high school. And I remember I left my laptop unlocked. Never do that.
Nope.
And I had like a creative writing thing I was working on in my dorm room, and a friend of a friend like got onto my laptop and found it and started reading it out loud for our entire friend group. I have not written a thing since.
I feel that. So, like, why are people so horrible? But it's also like it happens to everyone, so everyone's horrible.
Yeah, everyone's been there. And if you're the person who's causing that, fuck you.
Jordan's gonna fight you.
Yeah.
But it was just such a, like, I was not emotionally prepared for her to watch this video of her life, and it's like that, and then she's a social recluse, and it's just...
Well, she's a social recluse because of everything she goes through in her childhood. So she withdraws from humanity. She stops being an artist. She stops doing anything. And she's just kind of humdrumming through life.
Yeah, because it's just, they even say it, I think, in the book that the last couple years of her life is just the inside of her apartment.
They don't even show it.
Yeah.
They skip it.
It's like, anyways, that's the end. And she's like, oh, I really haven't done anything over the last couple of years. Oh, no.
The level of hermit we're talking about here has never dated, like never been on a date, never been kissed, never had sex.
Yeah, also a virgin.
Yeah. So Delphi is like a true closeted, never going to experience life. And she's kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
She's a little grumbly, a little cynical, but like, this is my life and this is how life is.
Yeah. Despite not having really done anything, she's like, I haven't done anything and I'm not quite ready to die yet. And so she freaks out and runs out of the room and straight into the arms of a super hot and hunky Jonah.
I pictured a Ken doll.
I did too. Glenn, whatever his name is, the guy who was in like a fake situationship with Glenn Powell. This is the guy. You're going to see a picture of him and be like, wow, that's Jonah. He's like this era's, Ryan Gosling.
Like not going to age well, but is fine for now.
Like the most generic Australian face, American face. Yeah. That's Jonah. And all of a sudden she feels this like sparkly, amazing connection with him. They make some like jokes about like, wow, like where the fuck are we? That's like weird.
Like it's clear that they're both attracted to each other.
Yeah.
And then Merritt pops up out of nowhere. He's like, oh, actually, Jonah, you're not supposed to be here. You're just unconscious from overdose of dental work.
Dental work.
And so poof, Jonah disappears.
And Delphi's like, what? That's an option. Send me back too. And so our girl Merritt is in love with romance books. Very relatable. And so she decides to make a deal with Delphi because she kind of feels bad for her. And there's some kind of like weird like clause to the Evermore laws and constitution.
Okay, we cannot skip over the fact that Merritt, as a total aside, just casually says, oh, that was one of your 5 soulmates.
Because they did not give any more attention to
That's
that.
it.
But it's like, that feels kind of important.
Everyone in this universe has 5 soulmates, and Jonah happened to be Delphi's.
I kind of love that as a concept, though, because there are people that you're like, I'm weirdly like, we're vibing on like a weird kind of, astral level. But yeah, so Jonah, I don't know what the joke was, but it felt dirty when he said it like that. So Jonah was one of Delphi's 1 soulmates. Merritt's like, I love romance novels, so I'm going to play God a little bit. You have 10 days to make Jonah kiss you of his own volition. You can go back to Earth, and if he kisses you, you can stay alive. If he does not, you come back and help me with my Afterlife dating service that I'm trying to stand up, which, matches
Merritt's
dead people.
Yeah. I kind of hated this trope.
Really? The 10-day thing?
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, I didn't like it in Little Mermaid, the whole, kiss her and she can stay human. It's the same thing.
It kind of feels I feel like predatory isn't the right word, but it feels predatory a little bit.
Oh, Delphi turns into a total predator.
Yeah. Which I will say I appreciated that. This is skipping ahead a little bit, but as you can imagine, someone stalking you to try to find you, to kiss you would not go over well. It didn't go over well.
No, and if it did go over well, there's something wrong with the person you're stalking.
Yeah. Which I appreciated.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a dash of realism in a very unreal rom-com.
It's like when you undersalt a dish and you're like, oh, this could taste good, but you refuse to put any more salt on it. Yeah. Anyway, so Delphi agrees to this deal. She wakes up on the floor of an apartment because there is a very
Cooper.
A
very Cooper. He reminds me of Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Like large, brooding, long, dark hair. Kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
It's the type. The Kylo Rens of the world.
Exactly. He is Delphi's downstairs neighbor, and he knocked on her door because he had a package to deliver, and when she did not answer, he opened the door and saw her lying on the floor. And she panics because she was dead, and now she's not dead anymore.
She's like, where's the hamburger?
And Cooper and Delphi have a very unpleasant relationship.
Antagonistic.
Yes. Perfect word.
Mm-hmm. Point for Katie. Sorry.
And you said it correctly.
Woo! Double points. The daily double.
Oh, you nerd.
Sorry. Little Jeopardy joke for you. Sorry.
Okay. Focus. We're focusing.
Yes,
so
yes.
They hate each other.
Yeah.
Cooper wakes her up.
Yeah.
Delphi panics, kicks Cooper out of her apartment, roughly.
Yes.
And then she realizes, oh shit, I need to check on my neighbor, Mr. Yoon.
Mm-hmm. I thought this was kind of cute, but also kind of weird. Like, I don't know if I had an elderly neighbor who is mute that I would just insert myself into his life.
Yeah.
As like a caretaker.
Again, this is like one of those aspects of this book that made it seem like a shell. Like, oh, I have to create this diverse cast of secondary characters to each teach something differently to Delphi.
Yeah.
That's what this seems like. Oh, I need to show that Delphi, despite being a total bitch to everyone around her, actually cares for people sometimes.
Yeah, because Mr. Yoon is mute. He also maybe has like early onset Alzheimer's, maybe. Like he's forgetting things. And so Delphi has kind of taken the care of him as her responsibility. And so she goes in every morning to make him breakfast, et cetera, et cetera.
Make sure he has not lit his apartment on fire because he smokes inside.
Which honestly, that's a little bit like self-preserving. So I kind of get it a little bit, but also like, you just randomly adopted an older Korean man as your grandpa.
Pretty much. Well, I mean, their backstory is kind of cool. Delphi has a non-relationship with her mother. So Delphi's mom is in Texas living in an artist commune. And so like they text, but more specifically, Delphi texts her every once in a while, like, hey, checking in. By the way, I was, injured in a car accident. Don't you love me anymore? And her mom's like, oh, hope you feel better soon. Cupcake, love you. And that's it. Like,
okay, so your mom is a wonderful human being, but they were just like little text messages at the beginning of each chapter. I was not prepared to be traumatized by the fake text chains at the beginning of these episodes where the mom is such a like narcissist that she just can't even accept that she has a daughter. And she's like, I'm living my best life. I hope you're okay, Delphi. It's like, that's your child.
Yeah. Which explains why Delphi has so many issues.
Yeah, honestly.
So, the backstory with her and Mr. Yoon is that one year it was her birthday and she had heard nothing from anyone. Like her mom didn't wish her happy birthday. So Delphi goes out and buys herself a cake and she's crying. She runs into Mr. Yoon in the hallway and like, that's it. And the next day she brings Mr. Yoon a piece of her birthday cake. And then I think that was kind of the kickoff for he gave her a birthday card.
Yeah.
Oh, adorable.
I think they like split a piece of the cake and he like invites her to...
So that kind of initiated her taking care of Mr. Yoon. And so they have like a cute, granddaughter, grandfather thing going on. But also, it's a little strange.
Yeah. But immediately Delphi is like, well, that was a crazy dream. I didn't just die. Like, I can't find the cheeseburger on the ground of my apartment. Like, Merritt is obviously a fake person. That didn't happen. But then she gets a text message and it is from Merritt. And she's like, I'm getting the impression that you think that this is all fake. But like, girl, you signed a contract. Like, you're technically dead.
Fine, Jonah now.
Fine, Jonah. And then the text message disappears, etc. And so Delphi kind of takes a weird approach to this problem set and goes to the library.
So strange. It was like as if the author had written a 12-year-old in an adult woman's body.
Yeah. Yep, because she goes to the library to find books
About how to find people.
Yeah, like, girl, just watch the Netflix docuseries on...
Like, you have a phone and a computer, I would assume.
Yeah, just like a Google search. But she decided to check out books on how to find people.
Wow, that is like the very last method I would do. Like,
Yep. But she finds Alid, who is a spunky librarian that basically like collects friends. I can't think of a better way to put it. But he's like, okay, we're going to be friends. Here's a bunch of books. I recommend these two. They're great. Bring them back whenever, and I'll pick out some better ones for you to read. And then he has like a little like distraught moment that she doesn't have a library card, which... fair.
And then he gives her a library card.
Yeah, that's all.
There's so many like artificial obstacles written into this book.
Yeah.
It really feels like in an effort to make Delphi seem like a recluse, like someone who doesn't interact with the world, like the author overcorrected and like completely underwrote her. Like she is both characterless and childlike.
Yeah. What? Okay. Real talk moment there.
Pow.
Jesus. Because Alid for sure later commits 100 like privacy violations by taking her phone number from the library system to text her. Like that's super creepy.
That would never happen. Like an actual librarian would not do that.
No, that feels gross. But anyway, she comes back home with her stack of books and she runs into Cooper. And she's like, I need to find this Jonah guy. And Cooper's like, that's kind of creepy. Like, why do you need to find this random dude? And she's like, I gave him chlamydia. I will say this was really funny because I feel like everyone has had those moments where you're talking to someone that's like objectively hot and you're like, chlamydia.
Something.
I mean, I wouldn't jump straight to chlamydia, but
again, with Delphi, who is seemingly so anxious over interacting with people and doesn't want to have relationships, this is what bothered me. Someone who's like that would actively avoid saying things or engaging with people in a way that would set her up for future interactions.
That is true.
And like, or would know how to shut down any kind of thing. Like, there wouldn't be an antagonistic relationship between Delphi and Cooper because that is continued interaction.
Yeah.
Like, Delphi would just shut down and walk away. Like, if I think of someone who just can't handle interacting with people, they're not going to interact with them. They're just going to walk away.
That is true. Because she says like snarky comments that obviously need...
oddly witty and has returns to Cooper's snide remarks.
I feel like at this point we should probably introduce... So I am in my trash reading phase where I have the brain capacity to read, but not anything above like a 8th grade reading level. So I read this as one enjoys a rom-com because all of these points that Jordan is making, they're very true. But I consumed this like a rom-com on Netflix where I'm like, this is so fun. But absolutely 100% true that all of her witty comments would not be real for a real person.
It just doesn't, it aligns with the right character, but like that's not how Delphi was designed. I don't know. I also read this book the way you're describing, like, oh, you can't read it any other way. Once you start thinking about what you're reading is the minute you put it down and be like, no.
Yeah, that is true. But this will later feature in a Hot and Bothered episode about anti-intellectualism and just enjoying books.
We'll bring our intellectual friend on for that one.
But yeah, I just enjoyed it. Didn't think about it, but very true. And I think that's kind of the gist of their conversation is she's like, I gave him chlamydia. I need to find this guy. Yeah.
So Delphi reads some books and realizes she's still not going to find Jonah because she doesn't have a last name. She has nothing to go on.
Yeah.
And
I think Cooper does like a Google search, like Google Plus search, and then finds a bunch of Jonah T's that are into musicals. And some Jonah T checked into the Orchestra Pit, which is a musical something bar.
We skipped the deal that she made with Cooper.
Oh.
So in order to do the Google search on her behalf, because So Delphi, sweet Delphi. She's like, oh, Cooper has computers. He's got to know computery things. So she walks down to his apartment and is like, hey, Cooper, can you help me out despite us having this antagonistic, awful relationship? He's like, no, why would I help you? Like, you hate me. I hate you. what's in it for me?
Which, valid.
Yeah. And so he says no. She goes to walk away. And then he comes after her. He's like, actually, I'll help you out. But you got to help me first. Can you take a picture with me?
That's never, like, a word to the wise, do not ever do it except in this rom-com situation.
Yeah.
But she does.
Yeah. Which, again, if you're like a true hermit, you know, like that would freak me out. But she does. She takes a picture. And Cooper's very cryptic about it. He's like, oh, I just need a picture.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely wouldn't take a picture for unspecified purposes. Like,
weird. Because it's a picture with Cooper, like a
Yeah.
selfie type of thing.
Yikes.
He does the Google search. He finds Jonah. It's probably the right Jonah. Isn't it at a running club first, or is that later?
No, that's next, because it's the weird orchestra pit, like, I imagine kind of the dueling piano bar kind of thing, but they only do show tunes, which this might be controversial, but that sounds like actual seventh layer of hell for me. Absolutely not.
You don't like musicals?
No. There's no. I cannot put into words how traumatized I would be if I had to go to the orchestra pit. People singing in large groups that aren't meant to sing is like hives.
Oh, but like actual musicals you like?
I don't think so. I don't know. I feel like we're seeing the cracks in the Katie Jordan relationship.
I don't know how to process this right now.
But yeah, the orchestra pit is basically just where people go to sing, which
I didn't know you had such a visceral reaction.
Yeah, this is
like,
dramatic.
It's like, yeah, Broadway karaoke.
Katie. No, Broadway is for like Britney Spears songs. Anyway, she goes there. She's never been to like a bar or
she's never had a cocktail before. Also, it seems kind of weird.
Yeah. And so, the bartender takes pity on her, which is probably the single most unbelievable moment in this entire book. But his name is like Sparkly Tom or something. He gets her a drink. Merritt comes in and she's like, Delphi, you need to sing some kind of like jazz number.
All that jazz from Chicago.
Zero.
Oh my God.
I don't know what song that is. I just imagine old people with like jazz hands.
Pretty much. There you go.
Yucky. But yeah. And so Delphi kind of jumps up on the stage. She takes a shot beforehand. And she's about to sing, but she sees in the crowd this girl who looks disturbingly similar to her childhood bully friend, Jen. And so she freaks out, drops the mic, runs out. And that's that. But not before, I think earlier she runs into some guy who knows Jonah. And he's like, he moved back to Australia, man. And she realizes it's not the Jonah she's looking for.
No. But she only went to this bar to find Jonah. And after not seeing him in the crowd, she just decides to like stay and have a few drinks and completely fail on stage. Yeah. Thanks to Merritt.
Next day, I think Cooper takes pity on her a little bit. And he's like, there's actually another Jonah that goes to a run club in the mornings.
Oh my God.
This is traumatizing.
This was awful. And I feel we need to stop here.
Yes.
We will come back to the running club in part 2. But readers, if you have ever worn any kind of athletic wear, you will feel this next scene in your soul.
Yep. Yeah. Not in a good way.
No. All right. That's part 1 of The Love of My Afterlife. We will see you next week for the most traumatic scene in the whole book.
Yep. From our shelf to yours.
We'll see you on the next page.
Hi, readers. If you'd like to help us pick our next book, send us a message on Instagram.
Or if you'd like to just listen, we post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Thanks for listening.
Bussin'.